There is no overt censorship or discrimination within the corporate realm. The individual is judged and allowed to ascend up the corporate ladder, or he is left behind, squandering on the lower rungs, or he is outright fired with no justification required. The individual is evaluated not only by how productive he is to the corporation, but by how well he can incorporate himself, no pun intended, within the company and its principles. Every supervisor appraises the ones under his control, ensuring that when an individual is promoted, he has met the criteria. In turn, this individual becomes a supervising assessor of the ones he is given responsibility of. Here, middle management shows some vitriol, since they will never allow anybody to ascend that have not paid their dues exactly like they did. They expect others to pay the price in the exact manner that they did. In time, an individual may attain a position of privilege, gaining special considerations within the corporate structure. And this is accompanied with special responsibilities, of course. Little oversight would be required at this point, since the individual has already proven himself over the years to multiple evaluating middle managers. He may feel free to do and say as he pleases, just as long as he does not hurt the interests of the company, reinforcing his sense of freedom and making him feel empowered within this guaranteeing entity. As a man ascends upwards, he is accountable to fewer and fewer bosses. His time within the corporate institutions has imbued the mind with the company's values, and he now identifies with this company because outside of it he is less. He eats, drinks, shits, imagines in accordance with the principles he has dedicated himself over the years. He cannot think outside of them. He, at this point, is institutionalized. He slowly becomes a trustworthy man, a man promoting the corporate ideals and interests his every thought, with his every thought and activity. Excuse me. No direct control is necessary, no micromanaging, unless the individual gets out of line because of some unforeseen event. The process of weeding out due to multiple stages of promotion over many years ensures that when a certain level is attained, those that find themselves there can be trusted to toe the corporate line and speak in a voice of a company man, a made man. All you have to do to witness this process in real life is to look at the anchorman chairs of the major television news corporations, to witness the company man writing and reading from a text that never challenges the company he serves at its most basic interests. He might at times speak or criticize the company, but he will never challenge the underlying principles which the company is founded upon. If you were to ask him if anyone tells him what to say and how to say it, he would be relatively honest in saying that nobody intervenes upon his work. Well, except in some rare occasions due to some extraordinary circumstances such as war or a terrorist attack. Nobody does because nobody has to at this point. The intervention has happened already during the process of elimination, during the selection process. This is a mirroring of natural selection. This is a artificial, man-made selection. It's a corporate selection. He is there because he is trusted to say exactly what the company expects him to say. If the idea pops into his mind because he's had some kind of epiphany, some kind of change of heart along the way, then he would risk it all: his position, his power, his family, his privilege, his home, his comfortable standard of life. All of it would be put at risk, along with the interests and the lives of his children, if moral and issues of integrity become such a problem, which is highly improbable after all those years of being indoctrinated within the corporate structure. The immunization effect of movies comprises of minimal exposure, selectively applied. The intended target is placed into contact with an undesirable element, an idea, let's say, an idea which is then castrated and contained by the medium it is delivered by. It is castrated and slandered and presented to him in a very negative way. It is twisted into a form which will have a negative emotional reaction, forever associating the ideal with the emotion. Along with this, the movie climaxes in a struggle between the desirable and the undesirable ideal, reflecting the individual and the audience's internal struggle. And then it settles upon a moralistic message in the end. The finale offers a positive outcome if the individual sides with the right side, and offers a negative consequences if he sides with the wrong side. This is Pavlovian conditioning. Civility is a form of censorship. It posits the idea that lying and pretending are preferable to speaking honestly and directly and openly. It forces the mind to find alternative, indirect, more feminine methods of expressing itself, retaining the defensiveness of plausible deniability, the defensiveness of humor, and the slyness of word games and innuendos. Its basic premise is that I will pretend to respect you if you do the same. This inevitably results in stagnation, as nothing is ever challenged beyond an acceptable line, and weakness and stupidity are permitted the luxury of their own essence, with no costs except serving and servicing the system, which offers this protection. This is a form of sheltering, as the natural processes of culling are now applied in the arena of the mind. Not genetic sheltering, resulting in genetic pollution, but mimetic sheltering, resulting in mimetic pollution, also called delusion and stupidity. Everyone has the right to his own opinion, just as long as this does not conflict with the systemic mores and the systemic or the elites' interests, meaning that all are equated no matter their intelligence, because ideas no longer have an effect. They are nothing more than mind candy, mind farts, lollipops we enjoy tasting and exploring, but we never apply. This is where the academic enters, a mouthpiece for ideas which don't touch him in any way, are never applied by him. They have no personal impact. They're just things he teaches and he knows. Social conventions, etiquette, politeness, civility create the illusion of parity by restricting the superior from exhibiting his or her advantage, and making the inferior believe, conveniently so, that there is no such thing as superior or inferior, and that all are the same and have the same potentials.